Gosh, you've kind of talked about turnovers kind of tend to come in bunches, that kind of once you get the ball rolling that they just keep coming. Have you seen signs to lead you believe that that's happening?
Well, we got to get some of these games. We sure have batted the ball around a lot and tipped the ball and got a close one, against Oklahoma with the sack and Iowa. I mean, just we're it's right there, but that's how turnovers are. And like I tell our guys, I got to keep running to the football and keep sprinting to it. And the more guys we have there, the better chances are of percentages of us getting them. So it's critical. Our guys know it. I think you got to just be careful that we're not going out of our minds. We've gotten our hands on a lot of balls in practice. Our kids have done a good job in games. It'll start bouncing right.
When you look at TCU, especially over the last couple of games, with how much they've turned it over, does that look like an area that's definitely vulnerable to their game?
I think it's every game's different. You never know, what's going to happen from one game to the next, and it's something we've got to win football games. You have to get more turnovers than you give turnovers, and that's just the way it is. And we've got to do our part. Our part's to take the ball back, and we've got to find ways to do that, and stripping it out and tipping it and catching it and intercepting it and doing everything we can to get the ball back. And we're 50% of that turnover margin, and we've got to do our part for sure.
Is the encouraging part the fact that guys are in place?
The crazy thing is all the tips, and the number of balls that we've tipped in the air and just haven't gotten, and those kind of things. So our guys are working. We work at it every single day, and it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
What have you thought of your position room, the safeties, and kind of their progression from week to week?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. They're really a hard-working group. They spend a lot of time at the game. That's been a real blessing, I think, for all of them. And there's great competition in there. It's easy to, if you go out and have a bad day, somebody else is moving in your spot. So that part of it's been, I think, good for the players because it forces them to work. And I really don't have to say much. They know what's going on and who's playing well and practicing well. But I've been proud of their improvement. We got a long way to go yet, but they sure have made some strides.
How big of a challenge is this going to be for your corners when it looks like they've got two really talented wide receivers?
They got a whole room full of talented wide receivers too that get a lot of attention. Tommy, those guys do. They've got a whole room full of them. And they got a guy delivering them the ball, and their offensive line's good. And they can run the football. They're running the ball, and the guys carrying it are very talented. So we've got a great challenge. Our corners have to play well. Our whole defense is going to have to go play our best football game for us to have success. And we're capable of doing that, but that's what it's going to take. Anything less than that won't be enough.
Is it nice that you've been tested a little bit with your contained defense with the mobile quarterbacks the last 2 weeks?
I think so. It gives you a little bit of what you can and can't do. Every one of them is different, though. Every offense is different. This offense is different than anybody else we've played. A lot more things going on, a lot of different alignments, formations, that kind of thing. So that's where they're a little bit different than everybody else we've played. So, they create some other issues for you. But again, I think, at least being in a little bit of the idea that you've got two running quarterbacks that we've played at least gives you a little bit of a head start on at least where to start at.
You touched on the safeties, but Eisworth obviously has a nose for the football, but did he even have a heightened, I don't want to say football IQ, but a study ability than maybe you expect out of some of the JUCO guys?
Well, he's a guy that's because of what happened to him, from where he transferred from. I think that's Greg's story. Tremendous football player, was an offensive guy in high school. I think that awareness helps him. Has great study of the game. He's getting some great time with our D line, those guys, spending time with them in inside runs, some of those kind of things that help him along. And I just think the extra time that he spends really helps him.